Hi, with the launch of the financial workbook, one of the things we're introducing is gauges. These gauges on the gauges page show you where you are relative to your plan for specific items, either on a year-to-date or on the month selected criteria. So one of the things you'll see here in terms of a selection, like in terms of August, where I selected August, I can see that I'm 144% of revenue. I can see 26% of recurring service in terms of my target for recurring service. Percentage, 125%, but my cost of goods is over, and it's marked with an indicator. One of the things that we want to do for the gauges is to not only show whether you met or missed your plan, but what percentage of your plan you happen to be. Just indicating with that I met my revenue plan as opposed to being 144% is different. Just if I indicated that I failed my plan and I was 99% of my plan, that's really not totally missing my plan either. So oftentimes it's the ratio, it's the proportion of where you are either year to date or for the month that's as important as whether you met or you missed your plan. So I'll talk a little about this. I want to talk a little about the overall, and then we'll drill into one specific gauge and talk about some of the configurability. But one of the things you have here is you have a month pull-down selector where I can choose the specific month that I want. And so I could choose July, I could choose June. And one of the things you're seeing is a lot of my charts are changing. What I can also do is I can just use this selector where I'm actually going to slide all the way over to January, or I could choose specific months and basically use this slider as a way to actually choose the months that I want to use. As I'm changing, one of the things you can see is that here I actually was I was 93%, so I kind of missed my overall target in terms of my recurring service revenue. So again, you get a view of where you're at in terms of your targets with these indicators. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to choose August again, and we'll go back and take a look at it. Let's take a look at a specific chart here, and I'll take a look at revenue. And below each chart, one of the things that you'll see is that there's a series of values that determine how the chart actually gets displayed. So in this case, one of the things you'll see is that I see my actual, I see my plan, I see the percentage the plan happened to be, and then these numbers that are below it actually allow me to configure out the aspect ratio of what's being displayed. In fact, if I went down and said the chart height isn't 125%, I'm going to set it equal to 160%. Right? You'll actually see that now 160%, I'm starting out at 50 to 75 to 100 to 160, and I get that kind of view in terms of it. Gives you kind of a way in which you can actually focus in and see where you're at proportional to the plan. So you can adjust these numbers. You can also use a pull down to select what you want to display in that chart out of your metrics that matter. So what we default to is just the first metrics, but I could have chosen to say what I was really interested in doing is seeing my year-to-date revenue. And my year-to-date revenue is 127%. And there's the actual and there's the plan year-to-date that I was supposed to be hitting as of August. You can kind of see as if I chose September, my numbers go up and my values go up, and it shows me again where I'm at proportional to my plan. One of the things that you'll see is that we've provided the ability to put in 20 charts, and these are all from the metrics that matter, again highlighting which ones have met or missed the plan. The other thing that you'll see a little bit is that sometimes your plan is to be under a certain percentage rather than over a certain percentage. So in the case of cost of goods sold, in the green is actually when you're under 100%. Not when you're not that you're trying to get over a certain point. So in this case, rather than being red, yellow, and green, it's actually green, yellow, and red. If I'm above my plan, I'm moving into yellow and I'm moving into red. So a little bit different in terms of the setup here. You'll actually see that this is actually indicating that the high point in my chart is 125%. Again, if I were to actually make this to be 220%, you'll actually see how that changes the proportion of the chart, and I can kind of see where I'm in the red relative to 220%. I'll set this back to 125%. But what I can also do is I can actually specify that green is starting out at 50, yellow is starting at 75, red is starting out at 100%. And usually red always starts out at 100% of plan. That's when you're really kind of missing it. But you can make the numbers proportionally. Oftentimes, you have no expectation that revenue is going to be under 80% of your plan. So basically, that's really kind of where you wouldn't expect that's kind of your almost threshold. In fact, in most companies, you'd probably say, red is starting at 80. Yellow, if I'm between 90 and 100% of plan, I'm kind of in yellow. I'm not really kind of as concerned. And maybe the high point of your chart is really 120%. And you're looking at a chart like this, where you're kind of saying, if I'm 100 to 120%, show me how good I'm doing. 100 to 120%, I'm at 130, so I'm off the chart again. If I'm in the range of 90 to 100, I'm in the yellow. If I'm below 90, I'm in red. And really, it doesn't matter how much if I'm off the chart down here, but show me where I'm at. So again, that's how you would kind of modify these values. Pretty straightforward in terms of selector. We always show some data up here, which is just the pure numbers for the month selected, the revenue, the cost of goods, gross margin, and percent gross margin. I kind of see that as a visual. One of the selectors you can also select as you're building out what gauges you want to use is you can say unselected, which just basically means that there's no data to present. So I can go down through and just say unselected. In terms of I can choose unselected, and if I choose unselected, then basically there's no data to display. No data being presented. So straightforward on that standpoint. So I hope that the financial gauges are helpful for you as a visual. You can again choose the ones that you want as your top, and then just quickly look through and take a look at any of the gauges. We also have a video that shows you how you can actually copy information from the workbooks and paste it into as a linked chart into PowerPoint. So that might be something you're also interested in doing, just to see these gauges. And hope that was very helpful. Take care.